guys, so I've already just filmed one video, but this is going to be my second part of my Japan vlog. This will be the next 4 days, so days 6 to 9. I've done like an introduction on the last video, so that's somewhere on my channel. So yeah, this is my second video for my Japan trip. So the 6th day I was in Japan was Saturday, and I'd had a really good sleep on Thursday night, so I had like 9 hours. But on Friday night, I went to sleep at 1, woke up at 3:30 and could not get back to sleep again at all. So I'd had 2.5 hours sleep, and I was completely running on empty because we went to Kamakura, so we had to be up early anyway. I was completely running on empty, but it was a really good day despite major indigestion and just being absolutely exhausted really. We had breakfast at Bill's on the coast, which is a cafe. I think there's quite a few of them because there was one in Harajuku as well, but we went to this place called Bill's on the coast, which was really nice, and I think I ate my sweet corn fritters too fast, hence the consequent indigestion, but it was still really nice. We then went to see the Bronze Buddha at Kamakura, which my mum said was definitely worth seeing. It was the most rural feeling part of Japan that I've been to so far. Even last time, we mainly spent time in Tokyo and Yokohama, and we went to Hakone for 1 day. But this was definitely the most rural feeling place I've been to so far. We went home around lunchtime, and I spent the afternoon catching up on some sleep, which I definitely needed after the night before's terrible night's sleep. In the evening we went to YCAC for the Bonodori festival, which is like a Japanese festival. It's sort of like a festival for the... basically they talk to the dead, but they also have like celebrations and stuff. So they had like a whole festival put on at YCAC where there were lots of stands and performances and things. And Jessica and I did this thing. I don't think it's a traditional thing, I just think they put it on for the sake of putting it on. But basically there was this huge long piece of bamboo which started high up and ended up like low down. And they had running water down it, and basically they would send noodles down it and you had to catch them. You paid 400 yen to catch some noodles, and they were cold as well. Like, I don't think it was worth the 400 yen at all, but it was interesting and I was just really hungry, so you know, it was alright. The noodles tasted quite good, they were just cold. Sunday was quite a busy day. We went to Landmark Tower in Yokohama, which is somewhere that I wanted to go the first time I went, but we ended up like not having time or something, so we didn't go. It was a really clear day again, and we got some really good views of Tokyo and Yokohama, but we still couldn't see Mount Fuji. It was just a little bit too cloudy in the distance. Afterwards we went to the Cup Noodle Museum, which, as the name suggests, is a museum for the history of Japanese pot noodles. I read about this on the internet before I went, and like, it sounded really dull and weird, but it was actually one of the best things we did while I was there. They had a video that you started off with, so you went into the museum. They had a video that talked about the history and the creation and like patenting and stuff. And then there's like a display of all the different kinds of pot noodles through the ages and how many different kinds there were at each point in time. So that was quite interesting. And we had lunch at part of the museum where you could try different noodles from around the world, such as Kazakhstan, China, Korea, Malaysia, Vietnam, you know, different places. And they dressed it up as like a food court, like a street food court. They had all these like stands where you could try different kinds of noodles. It was so adorable. Some of them were really nice. They had Italian noodles, which I believe was just spaghetti, but they called it Italian noodles. So that was obviously my favourites. I love Italian food, but I think it was the Kazakh ones that I like, the ones from Kazakhstan. There were some that were way too spicy and some that were just plain weird. There were some cold noodles, and I think they were the ones from Korea. I can't quite remember, I might be wrong, but there were some that were cold noodles, and they weren't, you know, disgusting, but it was just odd. Like, I wouldn't not choose to eat them. We then had some time to kill before we'd booked our slot at the factory, which is where you could make your own pot noodle from scratch. It was a very exciting time. So we you know, hung about the museum for a bit. We went to Cold Stone, had some ice creams, that was nice, and then we went back and we made our own pot noodles, which I have here. So we made this at the factory. The first stage is you have to decorate it, and I've never been one to be particularly, you know, arty, so mine's very sort of, you know, age 6. Very sort of pathetic, but anyway, that was my decoration. And then you queue up for like half an hour. Then you choose, they put noodles in it, and then they add the sauce, I think, and you can add toppings. You can choose 4, but I don't think you can have more, and I don't think you can have less. So I ended up having pork, sweet corn, egg and cheese, which is a very weird combination, and I haven't tried it yet, but when I do, I'm sure it'll be really weird. And then they do other things like sealing it and vacuum packing it, I assume. And then you put it in this giant inflatable bag to protect it. I hadn't expected to be making my own pot noodle when I went out to Japan, but it was actually really good. And again, as part of the trend that we'd set, we went to YCAC in the evening for a swim and some dinner. Me, Sophie and Izzy went into Tokyo to have some authentic Japanese sushi with my uncle at a sushi place next to where he works. Most of it was quite nice. Like, I'm not too afraid of fish. Like, seafood I don't really like, but I quite like most fish. I was so exhausted for some reason, so I could have been a lot more enthusiastic, but it was really nice. And I discovered that wasabi and soy sauce are not for me though, but I do like miso soup, so that's good. We had some like different things, like there was some really salty fish, which I really like because I'm a big fan of anchovies, so salty things are quite good. While we were there, apparently there was a 4.7 earthquake in Chiba, and my aunt, who was still at the house, she said she could feel it, and only a little one. I only wanted to be in a little earthquake, and I missed it. I missed it by like an hour, I'm not even kidding. And apparently, the day after I left, like basically because I got back Sunday morning, and then I got a message from my aunt on Monday morning being like, we just had an earthquake, so yeah, I missed one by a day as well, which is really annoying. But anyway, we were planning on going to Skytree this day, but it was pouring with rain, like super heavy rain, so we abandoned our plans to do that, but we went to the 42nd floor of my uncle's building, which was our view for the day, even though you could see basically nothing. You could hardly see out of the window, it was so rainy. So instead of going to Skytree, we went to Harajuku, and last time I went to Harajuku we went to the area around the station, which is where everyone dresses up and stuff, but this time we went to the shopping street instead. To be honest, the station probably would have been deserted because it was, you know, a horrible day. So we went to the shopping street instead to do some much necessary retail therapy. So we had a good day there. I bought some things that I didn't need. I think Izzy bought some stuff that she didn't need. Sophie actually didn't really buy anything. We found this random roof garden as well, which was really cool. And Izzy and Sophie had some crepes as well. So that was our day in Harajuku, and then of course we spent the evening at YCAC. So on Tuesday it was Izzy's birthday, so we spent the morning doing various things to celebrate that. We had a sort of late morning while she opened some presents, and then we went to TGI's in Yokohama for lunch, which was nice as always. We went to get manicures done for Izzy's birthday as well, and mine's still, apart from like 4 fingers, it's mostly stayed on, so they did it quite well. These two don't match. I don't think you can even tell, but they were in desperate need of some TLC basically. But the weird thing was, the first time, I've only ever had one done before, she looked at my nails and just went, you have no cuticles. But this woman decided that she was just gonna cut all the skin around my nails off, and I don't think that needed to happen really. So I had really raw skin around my nails for like 3 days because she did not need to do that. Honestly, I don't think there was any need to get rid of the skin that was, you know, naturally there by evolution. It was there because it served a purpose somehow. It didn't need to be gotten rid of at all. But anyway, my nails looked way nicer afterwards, so you know, it was okay. I had another nap in the afternoon before we went out in the evening for teppanyaki, which basically they sort of cook it on a huge sort of metal plate in front of you, and yeah, it was quite interesting. Japan seems to live off beef, orange juice and Coke, and I like white meat, apple juice and Sprite, so I make myself an outcast somehow just because I don't like those 3 things. But there were still some really nice things to eat. Yeah, I spent the evening packing for mine and Izzy's little trip to Hiroshima and Kyoto, which we left for the next morning. So that concludes days 6 to 9 of my trip. I have one more video left for the last 4 days. That should be up soon, so I'll see you later.